Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Claim What's Yours. I'm your host Vaughan Reinecker, and today I'd like to talk to you about a very unusual claim that took place and how we managed to resolve this claim for our client. So I got a call this morning at about 8:15. One of our clients phoned us, long-time client of ours, short-term client who owns a business out on the East Rand of Johannesburg, and said to us, look, I've had an incident happen at my property and I need to put in a claim. I said, okay, tell me what happened on the claim and we'll see what we can sort out. I'll get my ladies to help you. Send you claim forms and that sort of thing. So right, circumstances of the claim are as follows. So our client said that her property had been closed up. She closed the property for the day and left the property. And when her staff arrived at the property this morning, opened up the premises and they walked into the property, and the kitchen has got a glass gas hob. So that gas hob, by all accounts, looks like it had shattered, exploded. It exploded into fragments. There were pieces of glass lying all over the place. I said, okay, so what happened? She said, well, I don't know what had happened, but when I looked at the cameras at my property, I could see that it happened at about 2 o'clock this morning. So there was nobody in the premises. She said, I couldn't see the stove top directly, but I could see that the glass on the fire burner had completely shattered and had blown, and there were fragments lying all over the kitchen. He said to me, have I got a claim? And I said, well, let me just have a think about that and see. Okay, so explosions, there's not an explosion, because the explosion would have to be, there would have to be some ignition, there'd be something that ignited, and also that something had combusted. So I said, okay, well, let me have a think about it. Let me see what's going on. Share the photographs, share the video with me. Let's have a look and see. So we had a look around. She told us who was doing the insurance. She said, oh, can I put in the claim with you, Vaughan? And I said, well, this is the stove. Yes. She said, yes, it is. I said, well, the stove is part of the building. I said, who does the building? I said, I don't remember that we do the building. She said, no, the building is done by her bank. So the bank have got in-house specialist insurers. Lots of the banks in South Africa do. They've also got divisions that insure the buildings. And in this case, this was done by one of the leading banks in South Africa. And that building is placed with them. So she said, oh, yes, I remember now, Vaughan, how it works with you. You cover the content. She said, so if I had to turn, a very good analogy, if I had to turn the house upside down and shake it, everything that fell out is yours. Everything that remained is the building. I said, you got it. So that is a part of the building. So it's a fixture in the building. Because it's a fixture, the stove is a fixture, forms part of the building insurance. So she said to me, okay, let me have a look and see. I said, right, so you would need to notify them of the claim under the building policy. And I said, I'm not sure where we're going to put in the claim. So I said, give me a couple of minutes, let me phone you back. So what I did is I called our staff in, and we had a quick meeting in the boardroom. We ran through definition of an explosion. Would that be covered? Because the fire policy covers fire, lightning, and explosion. I think we agreed that it's not explosion. So what we had a look at is that we believe that the glass countertop may have been under some sort of physical stress, either buckling or twisting, or it had been moved and it was now under pressure. And what happened is something may have happened with a cold last night, perhaps. Something clicked or cracked, and that entire glass hob shattered. So we said, okay, well, there is another place to put it. So explosion's not going to work, we don't think, but let's have a look on the policy and see if we've got any accidental damage cover. So what we did is we found an old policy from one of those leading insurers, had a look online, and we said, extensions to the policy that apply. Accidental damage, and accidental damage is covered as one of the insured perils, and accidental damage to glassware. In this particular case, specifically said glass stove tops. So we said, right, let's help our clients. So although the claim is not through our offices or through one of the insurers that we're appointed on or appointed to, we said to our client, we'll draw up an email for you. We will insert the terminology. You then just cut and paste with the pictures, send it to your insurer on your bond number, and your insurance company will then be put in a position where they can see the cover exists. And you're then going to give them quotes to replace the glass top, and obviously for your gas guy to come in and make sure that the gas oven is still working functionally and working properly, and is still functioning and is still safe for you to use. The costs of that will be covered by the insurer if they pay the claim. So we drafted a mail to our client, said, right, here is the wording. Dear bank insurance company, following a recent incident at my premises, I enclose herewith confirmation that accidental damage cover exists on my policy for damage to, and we gave them a screenshot, the accidental damage for the glass stove top. And here is the photographs, here is the video footage of it, here's a copy of my policy and the date of loss. I've paid my premium for the month already, so I'm okay there. Here is the quote from the gas guy to come in and give me a quote to replace the gas glass hob top, as well as to give me a note to give the item a check over. And can you please settle my claim, or can you please consider my claim in terms of the extension of the cover that I have? So we successfully sent that off to our client this morning. She was quite pleased. We were quite pleased. We all learned something about that today. And if this particular example resonates with you, and there's something that you didn't know was covered or should have been covered, or were maybe given the incorrect or inaccurate information by either your insurer or your broker, and it happens, this is the type of thing that we do. We love it. This is why we're in business. We're here to help our clients, and we enjoy doing it. And if you'd like us to do the same for you, like, subscribe, send us an email, and we'll gladly assist you. Have a good day. Cheers.